So we're going to kick off this 2022 must-have gear list straight away. You know the score. It's going to be a list of 10 things that we think are really awesome that come from where we are here at Hickies Music. It's going to be like an ideal list for your Christmas party. It's going to be awesome leading up to like the Christmas period when you're looking for stuff to get yourself or loved ones or whatever. You know, bring some joy to someone's life with one of these awesome pieces of gear. So we're kicking off at number 10 with the M Audio M-Track Duo. Do you want to record in the studio in a box? No worries, it's right here. You got everything you need. Like, it's so cool to see how smaller, better things have got in terms of like price and stuff when it comes to recording equipment these days. You know, you got, for under £100 GBP, you've got a recording interface that works perfectly, including like recording software as well, and just everything that you need to get recording at home. It's like never been easier to get a recording project going. We've done a short video of this, just showing how the preamp fares up. And I've got to say, it did a really good job when I used it. It doesn't feel cheap or nasty at all. It's an awesome interface, and I'd recommend it to anyone. Number 9, D'Addario XS strings. So these are new strings from D'Addario, and they are absolutely awesome. They're coated strings, but don't let that put you off. There's been this like big debate as like coated strings and normal strings, sort of big difference in terms of how they feel. It's like the thinnest coating, I think, with these. So they've gone the extra mile to make it so the stigma just disappears. And you've got these incredible sounding strings. NYXL steel core on these strings, but with an awesome coating that doesn't get in the way or doesn't flake or anything like that. It's just awesome strings. Very, very good sound from these. Pop them on your guitar and see for yourself, or hear for yourself, because, yeah, it makes such a huge difference. It's a massive part of the guitar, really, you think about it. Strings is big thing, That's the thing that you're hitting to make the sound, so they've got to be good. And if you want the best, these ones are awesome. If you've got a bajillion pedals, you're not going to want to have to buy a bajillion adapters. It's going to cost you way too much money. There's going to be cables everywhere. There's going to be loads of noise. It's going to be crazy. So yeah, number 8, TGI power bank. Awesome value for money, and it just works. No unwanted noise, isolated outputs, way cheaper than competition. And yeah, if you just want something on a budget, it may not, look as crazy or nice. It's not got any fancy decals on it. It's just very simple. But it's really small as well, which makes it super tidy, so it fits on your pedal board. Yeah, it's like a no-brainer. These are fantastic. I'd recommend it to anyone using pedals. You've got multiple voltage for the outputs as well. Yeah, absolutely killer. Smashing out of the park with this TGI power bank. So you've got to have a wild card on these top 10 lists, and I think this one speaks for itself in being probably one of the weirdest instruments that we've had in, but we've been going through these like hotcakes. It's the Cort Artisan Fretless bass. So we've had about 4 of these in now, which is awesome. So people seem to really like them, and we really love them as well. You've got a semi-hollow, fretless bass with a piezo pickup in the bridge and a Bartolini pickup as well, so some aftermarket stuff going on here. Yeah, as far as an instrument goes, it's just awesome. It feels lovely. The neck on it's fantastic. You can get a range of different tones on it as well, considering it's got the piezo system built in. Nice Bartolini warmness, very jazzy, very good for sort of like being a fretless bass. It's kind of niche, but I think for the price point that it's at, it's absolutely awesome. I say awesome all the time, but this for me is one of those like prime examples of an instrument where they're making something affordable, but still with all these awesome professional quality features. So we're getting into guitar territory here with number 6. This is the NOVENTA Telecaster. Had to look at that then, I don't know why. But yeah, it's definitely a Telecaster. But is it? Who knows? I guess this could be considered a wild card as well, because it's not your usual Telecaster, but something about just having that single P90 is wonderful. It just sings really beautifully and has the traditional brass saddles, weighs a really nice amount, and just has this wonderful playing feel to it. It's not like a fancy Telecaster by any means, but it's on par with some of the nice American ones that I've tried before. So if you can get your hands on one of these, definitely give it a go. Even if you're a bit of a purist, it's well worth having a feel for what these sort of like weird and wonderful Telecasters that Fender have made for their 75th anniversary are all about, and I love it. I don't normally play Telecasters or Fender guitars at all, but this for me was like a huge surprise when I first sat down with it and gave it a little try. Just how much it sang and resonated and just felt awesome in my hands. So yeah, definitely a perfect contender for this top 10 list, I reckon. So our 5th pick for our top 10 list is going to be the JTS NX8 microphone, and it is a great alternative to a Shure SM58. I don't want to bash other brands. Shure are up at the top for a reason. They're fantastic mics for sort of like live and recording, industry standard, as they say. But really, really surprised with how awesome these were for the price. Like in comparison as well, we've recorded some live music here at Hickies, doing the Hickies Live Lounge, which you've seen the videos of, which I recommend you guys go and check out. But we've started using this for our live vocal mic, and it's made a world of difference to the editing process afterwards. All of the sort of like high end sibilance that you don't want is kind of gone. It's like it's almost got a built in sort of pop shield there. Something to do with the capsule floating. James, our high tech specialist, was telling me that it's set in a certain way, so it's like it's got its own cradle built into the top of the microphone. So you know, it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. If somewhere's out of stock of an SM58, you've gone in specifically for that one, but they've got one of these NX8s lying around, I'd recommend giving it a go. They're really, really quite a surprise, and we think they're fantastic. Now, as much as you want that Bosendorfer grand piano in your living room, most of the time your parents aren't going to be very happy about that. Take up a ton of space, and not to mention you're going to be paying finance off for the next 10 years. Number 4 on the list, MBK Mini. So you've got all the piano sounds that you could want and more built into the software package. You get a great starter set when it comes to the electronic music production kit that it comes with as like a starter kit. And everything you need out of a MIDI controller, but at a tiny size and a really, really good price as well. Like, all the pads are there, all the controls are there, like the volume controls and oscillator controls and stuff like that. You've even got a little mod joystick as well. Everything that they've included on this tiny little thing. It doesn't feel like a toy piano as well. The keys on it are obviously smaller and sort of plasticky. There's no like hammer action or anything crazy like that. I mean, especially at this price, you're never going to get anything like that. But the quality's great. When you get it out of the box, it doesn't feel like a toy. It very much feels like a professional piece of kit. And it's when you start integrating it with your computer and loading up sounds that you start thinking, wow, you know what? This is awesome. And yeah, I'd recommend these to anyone who's starting out a little project studio, who's confined for space when it comes to wanting a MIDI controller. The software package, as I said, is really quite impressive with this guy as well. So yeah, well-deserved place down at number 4 for this dude here. So getting closer now, we got number 3 is actually a number 3. Rathbone, that is. One of the best acoustic guitars I've seen come into the shop for the price point. We were all absolutely blown away with these. We started calling them Martin killers at one point because we basically stopped selling Martin guitars after we got these in. The comparison's a bit iffy there, I think, but it was just sort of like a cool thing that we were saying to people that had come in just to kind of explain how good they were. It's a really wonderful projection that you get from the guitar, and feels really slim. It's like Faith on a budget. That's the best way I could use to describe it. If you know Faith guitars, which are lovely, fantastic acoustics, this gives off the similar kind of thing. A few more traditional style appointments, like the headstock being a certain way, and yeah, but just everything is just where it needs to be. There's no fancy preamp, thing like that, but it sounds good plugged in. Yeah, for the price point, easily one of the best acoustic guitars I've seen. Thought they were incredible. All it takes is strumming one chord on this bad boy, and you'll understand why it's at number 3 on our top 10 list. No surprises at number 2. So close to being number 1 for me, but I decided there was something a little bit better, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, MXR Sugar Drive. Just the most plain and simple, awesome sounding overdrive on its own, and then used to boost an amp as well. It's got this wonderful bite. It's a clone. You see those crazy £4,000 overdrives, boutique things, there's only a few of them made. They basically condensed the same kind of circuitry down into a smaller box, made it blue and sparkly, and given it a really nice name. Sugar Drive just has that. Just got a lovely ring to it. When I saw them in there advertised for the first time, I thought, oh, that looks cool. Looked a bit further into it, decided we had to get some in. Tons of gain on tap, really nice tone dial, really quite like deep control surface, even though it's only 3 dials. You can get a bunch of different sounds out of this. And yeah, I've seen seasoned players sit down with this thing, play it for the first time, and their eyes light up and they'll turn and say, what is this thing? And I was exactly the same when I first heard it. It's just got this wonderful focus when you add it to a driven amplifier. Yeah, being a guitarist myself, I'm going to get excited about stuff like this. I love overdrives. I love the different colours that you can get from them. But yeah, my favourite's blue as it goes. I think this thing absolutely rips, and it's worth adding to your pedal board if you think, your overdrive is getting a bit stale, or your gainy tone could do with a little bit of a boost, or you just want that nice gnarly blues edge to your sound. Yeah, absolutely killer. MXR Sugar Drive in at number 2. If I'd have known 5 years ago, when I was into solely pointy guitars, nothing else, not even headless guitars at this point, which I do like, and I told myself that a Strat copy would be featuring on a top 10 list of mine, then I would have told myself to let myself out. And yeah, to think I'm sat here with an instrument that I would say easily, well, just about beat the Sugar Drive to the wall, but I do love that thing. Taking the entry-level sort of budget guitar world by storm as far as I'm concerned. The best sounding and feeling instrument at the price point. The best guitar that you could have as a beginner. Doing music retail for as long as I have, I've only been sort of like really floored a few times with a few things that made me take a step back and think, wow, the game's changed so much. It is Jet JS300. Now it's funny this because this is actually mine. I was waiting to customize this, but I haven't had to. I've not added anything to it, and it's quite simply just wonderful. When I got this back home, I started recording with it straight away. The feel of the neck is fantastic. The pickups on it sound pretty decent for the price point. It's a decent weight. It feels lovely to play. And if you just want a nice Strat for your collection as well, it's just next to nothing, and you can modify it. But I haven't had to modify it. That's the thing, I've not changed a thing on this. It's ideal for someone starting out. One of the best guitars. Dare I say, I'd put these in a higher bracket than pretty much every other entry-level guitar brand out there. And I don't want to name any names because I don't think that's fair, because everyone's putting their hard work in here and we don't want to be like that. But yeah, dude, roasted maple neck on a guitar, worth under £200. It was unheard of a few years ago, man. It's crazy. Absolutely love it. Headstock still rocking it as well with the cool logo. Love the logo. Still love the logo. I'm going to defend it forever. But yeah, absolutely wonderful sounds. Got a video of a review of the JS400, which has a humbucker in it and a 2-point trem. But if you want like a traditional thing that's got sort of like a traditional back plate. But yeah, I've recorded loads on it and I've played it loads as well. And I keep coming back to it and thinking, man, this is such a lovely guitar. And that's compared to quite a modest guitar collection these days I've got going on without trying to toot my own horn. I've got a bunch of stuff, some made guitars and all kinds of crazy things and old things and new things. And this one's one that I still keep playing and I love the way it feels. Like a set of 9-gauge strings on this just feels so at home, and you do get that lovely Strat tone. So we'll be reviewing this as we're going to have like some packs and sets and stuff like that you can get from us, specifically for these being our #1 bestseller and just being awesome in general. So it's worth checking back onto the channel to check out a review that we've done in the future, celebrating the fact that this won our #1 top prize, I guess. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and checking out this top 10 list with us. Hopefully it's given you some ideas of some stuff that would benefit yourself as a musician. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this, so let us know, give us some feedback in the comments below if there's anything you think we missed out in terms of some stuff that you think's really cool that is the best gear for 2022, something we should get in, for example. Yeah, let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content that you saw today and you enjoy the videos in general, please consider subscribing to the channel and leave us a like or a comment below. Thanks very much, guys, and see you next time.